Hello, and welcome to Nobody Gets That Reference again. I'm Thermal,
I'm Fizzy.
and today we're doing some infected gameplay in Modern Warfare while talking about all things gaming. Let's see, we talk about some infected, we talk about achievements, we talk about some other stuff. This is part 1 of 2. Part 2 of 2 coming soon. So, Fizzy, yeah.
Infected. Well, it's a fairly appropriate thing to be playing right now.
Yes. Everyone's staying at home to avoid being infected, but you get infected anyway. So this is not a new mode. It's been around since Modern Warfare 3. Interestingly enough, for those viewers who do not know, it was incorporated into Modern Warfare 3 because a couple of fans made a mod for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, where if you were selected on the, there was a random infected at the beginning of the round, and they got only a knife, super speed, and super health. Everyone else got access to whatever their custom classes were, plus you could also buy kill streaks via this, weird modded care package. It was a pretty significant mod. I played it a little bit. It was quite fun. The health values were a little high. It took 5 or 6 headshots from the 50 cal to kill a zombie, so not perfect, but so that's how it became Modern Warfare 3, and then it sort of came to this game again.
Reloading.
Yeah, I mean, I barely played it at all in Modern Warfare 3, and then really most of my experiences come from this, where I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it's you are actually, this is kind of good to bring up. You are a purveyor, I would say, of the other, the Treyarch Call of Duty's Zombies modes. Probably a bit more so than I.
I would say that.
So,
yes.
How does this stack up? I know it's a completely different game mode, and so that's definitely, but, what are your thoughts on sort of the comparison between sort of Treyarch's Zombies and Infinity Ward Sledgehammer, I don't remember the other developer's name, their sort of version of Zombies?
I mean, yeah, I think you pointed it out. They really are completely different. There's not really much comparing them, I think, considering that one's cooperative and one's competitive. I think a lot of the fun in infected and multiplayer comes just from kind of figuring out how to hold out for longest, and that's not really what Treyarch Zombies is like, and that's all about upgrading yourself and getting pack-a-punch and gaining points and exploring the maps, and it's deep lore and interesting characters. This is just survive for a few minutes, and it's a fun. I see it as a really fun way to try out new weapons with the random drops they give you.
Yeah, I definitely think that's good. In the Modern Warfare 3 beta, and this may have to be corrected by me in post, but I'm fairly certain the first beta version of Infected allowed people to bring their own custom classes in, which ultimately I think kind of tips the balance in the favor of the player. So I think it's really good that they give you the random drops. Sometimes the weapons are they get a little bit stale. It's a lot of shotguns. We're looking at you, VOK Rogue, but it's it's a good time, and I think you're right. It's very different from the Treyarch Zombies, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do like that it's sort of competitive rather than cooperative. One critique that I have, and maybe we'll see what critiques you have. One critique I have of this mode is, of course, you know what I'm going to say because I've said it about a million times before, the UAV ping. I think hiding should be just as viable a strategy as fighting, and I think the UAV ping at the end really kind of defeats that. Think about it. There's 17 or 18 players, versus 1, and based on how the times of infection played out, they probably have 5, 6, or 7 minutes on their hands. You shouldn't ping the UAV. You should just let the person be able to hide.
I would agree with that. I could also see an alternative to balance that be have the UAV ping, but don't set the timer so high. But then matches would be much easier for the survivors, and I don't think that's necessarily what's intended. So I think the UAV ping probably should go. It's kind of useful, but it's not necessary, I'd say. You could probably easily find them without the last survivor without it. One thing I will say, though, and I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, is if, say, 2 survivors are hidden very well, then there won't be the UAV ping, and that gives them a good chance. But I always feel like the best strategy once it's down to you is just to run and try to avoid the throwing knives and take out as many Krugers as you can.
Krugers are so damn creepy. They're so creepy. They haunt my dreams.
I mean, Thermal over here doesn't really have much to say about the operator backstories, because they're not as interested in that as I am, but Kruger's backstory is really creepy in itself. He was wanted for murder in Austria, so he went and joined German special forces and then killed a bunch of civilians and then fled, so it's really creepy.
Either way, not a good guy. The perfect guy to embody the infected, mindless killing machine of a zombie. What do you think about the... I remember this isn't a controversy I hear most people talk about, so I'm kind of interested to bring it up and hear what you think. The use of point man instead of kill streaks. Now, some people would say, well, what kill streaks would you have? That you can't have a Harrier, you can't have... That'd be unfair. Even something like an advanced UAV or a UAV would kind of be tipping the balance a little bit, and maybe that's right. But I'm not sure that the point man works either, because...
Like, one thing I would say it's specialist, not point man. Just a little correction, but
no, point man, that changes your
it changes it into score. It changes your kill streaks into score streaks. Specialist makes your kill streaks perks.
I stand corrected.
Enemy at the warehouse.
I think the big thing I have to say about that is the reason I really like the specialist as an option is because I think that 7 kill perk bonus is extremely useful and helpful, because once you get to 7 kills, you essentially get a bunch of other perks. You get Tracker, which is good in some occasions. You get the perk that makes it so you can tell when people from off screen are aiming at you, and that is a lifesaver. As well as some others that I'm not entirely sure what they are off the top of my head. But I think kill streaks they wouldn't really be balanced for the mode A. I mean, some of them, maybe like a sentry gun I could see. But B, I also think tonally it doesn't make as much sense to have kill streaks coming when you're essentially fighting zombies, rather than to have just get extra perks and be better.
I certainly hear that. You know how at the end of the Battle Royale you have the helicopter coming through the gas and the people parachute to safety? It'd be kind of cool if they could add some animation like that retroactively.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Like, if someone survives, then a helicopter comes and picks them up. If not, the helicopter comes and you see all the Krugers like swarming down on the ground, and the helicopter just flies away. Like, nope, not doing that. Yeah. I think I cut out the footage, but I often do a lot of spray painting when I'm waiting on roofs or tops of buildings or whatever and infected. So I often try to spray paint, like big SOS on the like help us, which is a reference in and of itself, in addition to just being a good sense, kind of some fun.
I've also found myself often when I'm the infected, since I don't really have much to worry about, I'll just go around spray painting things if I'm bored instead of going after the survivors.
Yeah, you're keeping a good ratio of your kills to deaths there by just going around just spray painting stuff.
Yeah. On Euphrates Bridge, I tend to do that often.
Alright, so best map and worst map for infected.
Well, I think the worst map is Anaya.
I'm so sad they took out the 4-wheelers.
I mean, they took out I'm kind of ambivalent about it, because I think it kind of ruins the fun to not have them in. Like, it makes it more unbearable, but it also really balances it out, because it was really hard to get people who were on those 4-wheelers.
Yeah, I mean, it was an added thing of difficulty, especially because you could just run down zombies and they had no defense against that.
I think my favorite map, I know this is going to be controversial, at least with you, is for Infected, is Arclaw Peak.
Alright.
And a lot of that's because of, I think there's more hiding spots than usual.
You've earned your paycheck.
And I have that one spot, that cliff, that I love going.
Yes. And then I have the second floor that I'll often go up to because that's like you're only reachable by one spot. It's a pretty good late game, like, 14 or 15 to 3 or to 4 kind of place to hang out. That's a pretty good late game. Least favorite map. I don't love the night maps because I don't like the night vision goggles. I think honestly, there was the realism Infected for a while where you had the night vision goggles that really were basically drained. That mode I thought was okay, but I thought it would have been much better if, say, for example, the Infected did not get night vision goggles that they could just use wherever, because again, then it makes hiding a viable option. Because you can hide really easy in the darkness.
Well, I think the point of Shot in the Dark was to really balance it in favor of the Infected.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I think, seeing the way most games play out, it really is a mode balanced towards the Infected.
Oh, most definitely.
It's fine because if the Infected win, everyone wins. Everyone gets a victory in the book, at least technically.
Yeah, and that way you get your match bonus, which on Infected matches is pretty damn high. You get I've gotten match bonuses in 15 or 16,000 EXP for no reason.
Okay.
Other than just getting
sometimes
9 or 10
a challenge,
kills.
those will show up as bonuses.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think today even there was one where I got a challenge during the match and it said it gave me a bonus of 20,000 XP.
Infected.
That's a pretty. That must have been either the end of one challenge or. Yeah, that must have been the end. Did you complete something?
I think it was just rank progression challenges.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's good.
Which those can be really high yield. I feel like I'm probably the only player who pays attention to those.
Maybe not. If you're someone who pays attention to rank progression challenges, tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But I was a big fan of Backlot on the original Modern Warfare and the Modern Warfare remake. So I do like that they have Backlot here. I think it's an okay Infected map. I do think the place where I'm going, the tower top, is far too... It takes me a minute to get there. Is far too sort of powerful and kind of a little OP. Especially because it's pretty tough to hit with throwing knives.
Well, yeah, but I think we've yet to see a team successfully win a match from there.
Yeah. It always ends up with somebody hiding out in the outskirts.
Usually in terms of fortified fortresses, really, the answer is the Hackney Yard deployable cover trait.
Oh, yeah. Yoldy. Hackney Yard deployable cover. Although people have gotten wise to that, they're jumping and throwing knives, and they're getting a lot better.
Well, you can essentially get to a point where you can't be hit. And especially with the deployable cover.
And just burn down the clock.
Yeah, that's no fun. For me, the goal is the survivor is never to burn down the clock. I always want to get the tactical nuke, which I think I've only seen once or twice. Someone ended a match with that.
Yeah, I've never been in a lobby for something like that. I've seen some people get tactical nukes in regular multiplayer, but never in zombies. I think zombies is a really good example of sort of... I don't want to get somewhat philosophical here, but I think Modern Warfare tried to... With the way they built their multiplayer, it's becoming somewhat more and more apparent to me that they sort of went with the philosophy of, if you show me a 10-foot wall, I'll show you a 12-foot ladder. In the way of, there are advantages that certain guns and certain perks and certain, equipments and playstyles and whatever can bring. But those advantages all can be completely
Changing mags.
nullified by by other advantages or by other perks or by being a different type of player. And this is maybe the first Call of Duty game where we've seen that sort of very specifically taken into account. Modern Warfare, or at least the first one that I've spent a majority of my time playing, you might be able to tell me different about, like, one of the weird Black Ops ones or Advanced Warfare, one of the ones I didn't play, because they were weird. Like Modern Warfare 3, what did everyone use? ACR 6.8.
Okay. I didn't play Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer nearly as much as you did.
Everyone used the ACR 6.8, and at all ranges and in all engagements, it dominated. Everyone had it gold by the, well, not me, but like everyone else had it gold by the end, and there was really no reason to sort of use it in any particular way. Use any other gun other than that. You just bring that, you bring a couple of different perks, and then you were good. And you could pretty much win, and it was just down to skill of player.
Yeah.
Which was something. Whereas here, they really tried to balance stuff out. You have the M4, I think, is probably the closest to the ACR 6.8 in this game.
I feel like I've been seeing people gravitate away from it, though.
Oh,
Find
yeah.
other things. Like
now that we're entering sort of the mid-game multiplayer era, people are gravitating away from it.
Back early on, just about everyone used it, which was great. I certainly used the hell out of it.
Yeah, you got it gold, right?
Yes, I do have it gold. The only other thing I'm pretty close to gold on is the AK.
I mean, that's a Call of Duty staple. You have to get that gold.
Yeah, I would say in regards to the, I guess, more balanced gameplay in a way, more strategized customization gameplay, I think that really speaks to the biggest difference I've noticed in this game, and that is it gives you, in terms of weapon customization, it gives you so much options that the other COD games don't. I mean, I personally am really glad it's no longer doing the stupid, like, oh, you get 10 slots in your custom classes thing, because that was stupid. It's just, you fill everything out. But this is the first game not to have, like, oh, you get a certain amount of customization slots, but at the same time, give you the option to have a significant amount of mods on your weapons, which means they design them to both have drawbacks and advantages. Whereas, go back to Modern Warfare 2, and it was essentially like, you pick your one mod, 2 if you got bling, and it's practically just an advantage. There's basically no disadvantage to it, and that's all the strategy there was. And then in more recent games, it's felt more like there may be some drawbacks, but for the most part, they're mostly advantageous, and using a lot of them really just means you have to focus more of your customization options on that one weapon. But here, every mod, except for the perk section, every mod has drawbacks, every mod has advantages, and you can get 5 on every gun. And that is just, I mean, I think that's just brilliant, because it means there's so much more customization, so much more personalization. The base gun doesn't even seem to matter as much anymore.
Certainly.
Like, I can take an AK and mod it out to be like a base M4 and vice versa.
You know what the funniest thing is?
What?
A funny thing. When they announced that they were going to give you 5 possible attachments, you know, probably 3/4 of the room was like, woo, yeah, that's awesome! And the other quarter room was like, why not 8 attachments? You know, and it's like kind of pie in the sky a little bit. But yeah, I think the way they did it now was really a thing of beauty, because they balanced things and they made. It's hard to find a weapon that's kitted out so in the same way that yours is. Now, in something like Warzone changed the game, because everyone in Warzone spawns in with an M4 with a silencer and like a scout optic, and then everyone else spawns in with like an AX-50 with a thermal. So
use overkill, get both.
Yeah, or you with your HDR.
Well, I don't use that anymore. Now I got an AUG and a Riot Shield as my Battle Royale class.
You and your riot shields.
Oh, they're so great.
They need riot shield and zombies.
Yeah, they're perfect in Battle Royale. Yeah. They would break the game in Infected. They're great for Drop Zone, too, which is... I mean, it's not new to the game. It's been coming up in the playlist a few times, but this week it's a playlist.
Yeah, it's a great little mode. All right, that is just about it of part 1. In part 2, we'll talk about more Drop Zone, more Battle Royale achievements, and probably we'll have some general trivia for you. See y'all very soon.
Y'all have a nice day now.